recently completed a facilitator course. She's done it excellently. So first off, start off by identifying yourself. Create a cover page for yourself. Name, surname, ID number, stating that this is your POE for the facilitator course and put in the unit standard number. That's your first page. So once we receive your POE, we open it, we can see, okay, this is Terry Lee Meyer's POE for facilitator course. Second page, create a content page. This is just to identify where you have filed all the different sections. If a assessor wants to skip and he wants to go to see how did you complete your formative assessment, then he knows it's from page 26 to page 28. If he wants to go to your guide, then he knows he can go to page 112 to 158. It makes it easier for assessment to be conducted. Believe me, I've seen our assessors are very strict thereon. If there's no content page, they do tend to send back the POE to the learners and ask them to rectify it due to the fact that an assessment takes long. Because remember, the assessor needs to go word for word throughout the whole entire document. And you can see this, the POE is already about 200 pages. Okay, so section 1, we've said my personal details, your CV, complete updated CV. With a copy of your ID. Section 2, my certificates and qualifications. All your certificates that you have, all your qualifications, even if it's short courses, even if it's non-accredited courses, you attach them underneath section 2. As you can see here, this learner did it. There's a certificate also from us for assessor course. There's all other certificates. Section 3, course unit standard. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important to attach the SAQA document, which is this document, for the facilitator course in your portfolio. It needs to go under section 3. If this document is not in your portfolio, again, the assessor will notify you and ask you to resubmit your portfolio with the desired documents. So the SAQA document, if you guys don't have the SAQA document, just let me know. Then I can just email it to each and every one of you. Then you can just attach to your portfolio. So just a quick thing, I want to go through the SAQA document with you guys. Remember, we had a discussion regarding outcomes. Now, each course, as you can see here, has a SAQA US ID. There it is, 117871. Each course also has a unit standard title, which means that it gives you the title of the course. It's just a bit cut off here. And then each course will tell you to which field it belongs to. Now, the facilitator assessor moderator course belongs to the Education and Training Development Department field, which means it's an ETDP. Each course, can you see here, also has an NQF level, its own NQF level. Each course is also rated its own credits. Each course will also have the last enrollment date. This is not updated 1 year. And the last date for achievement. So just a quick one, and I know it's not relevant to you guys because it's going to be relevant for you when you do the assessor course. Always have a look at the last date for enrollment. The last date for enrollment tells us this is the last date any candidate can enroll for this course. Next to it says last date for achievement. This means any candidate that has enrolled before or on the 30th of June 2019, have until 2022, the 30th of June, to complete this course and achieve their qualification. Further, if you go down onto this SAQA document, it gives you the purpose of the unit standard. So what does that mean? It gives you the purpose of this course. What is the purpose of this course? As you can see here, it tells you that this unit standard will provide recognition for those who facilitate or intend to facilitate learning using a variety of given methodology. Formal recognition will enhance their employment ability and will also provide a means to identify competent learning facilitators. Then it will go further and tell you, people accredited with this unit standard are able to plan and prepare for facilitation, facilitate learning, and evaluate learning and facilitation. So it tells you this is, after anyone completes this course, this is what candidates are able to do after they completed this unit standard. Now, it's important for you as a facilitator to know this, because if you find yourself in a situation where you're busy conducting or facilitating a course that you're unfamiliar with, go back to this document. Have a look at the purpose. Have a look at what people are able to do after they complete the course. And then you scroll down and have a look at this. This is the specific outcomes. Specific outcomes want to tell us plan and prepare for facilitation. Now, for you as a facilitator, it's crucial to have a look at these outcomes, because this tells you I need to train my participants firstly how to plan and prepare for facilitation. As you can see here, each specific outcomes has assessment criteria. Now, the assessment criteria is focused more for the assessor. So the assessor will go onto assessment criteria. You'll see analyze of learners and learning needs, reveals the key element of learning required to achieve defined outcome. The learning outcome are confirmed to meet stakeholders' objective. The assessor will then know what type of assessment method to use to conduct his assessment. For you as the facilitator, focus on this specific outcomes. Always. So if you find yourself in a situation, you might facilitate a course you have no knowledge about, read the purpose and go to the specific outcomes and work your way through. There again, specific outcomes 2 tells us facilitate learning. Now, as a facilitator, now you see facilitate learning. Now you can think for yourself, okay, I need to train my participants on the second module, how to facilitate learning. So it will give you already an idea of how to implement it. And then you can see there's specific outcomes 3. Now, some of the courses might have up to 5 specific outcomes. Always align your facilitation with the specific outcomes. You need to teach or train your participants on these specific outcomes. But the SAQA document does not tell you what type of methodology to use and how to execute it. That's up to you, as long as your learners achieve the specific outcomes, as long as they know, for instance here, how to evaluate learning on facilitation. So it doesn't matter how you train them, what type of methodology you use, or you use it in video clips or demonstration, as long as they understand how to evaluate learning and facilitation. Right, so that's the SAQA document. As you can see, it's quite a hefty document, 26 pages. Section 4, you would be your formative and summative assessment. So it's this book, clearly states formative assessment guide. Now, guys, this is the assessment process flows. So this just tells you how the assessment will work First of all, there would be an assessment plan agreed by yourself and the assessor after completing your portfolio. The assessor will then decide whether it would be based on knowledge questionnaires or there will be observation. The assessor will then have a look at the portfolios that's been submitted, if there's any detail or any further information required. Then the assessor will communicate with you and inform you that he's going to conduct assessments. After assessments being conducted, feedback will be provided to you. You will have a chance to appeal the decision of the assessor if you are not satisfied with the outcome. Record of learning will be uploaded or updated if necessary. If you were found not yet competent, an action plan will be implemented by the assessor to assist you. All records and evidence will be filed by the assessor, and then a complete assessor report will be established and completed by the assessor and uploaded, and then will be sent to the service provider for approval for certification. After that, everything gets uploaded onto the AMS system, where learners are then requested for external verification, where SAQA comes out to our premises and they have a look at the assessment that was conducted. Did we follow their policies and their guidelines? And then after that, verification is approved, statement of results is issued, certificates is issued, and then you can start registering yourself. So that's just in a nutshell how the quick assessment process works. Guys, this document where it states agreed assessment plan, it's not necessary for you to complete these sections. The assessor will complete it. The only thing that you need to complete is fill in your name and sign as the candidate there. The rest, the assessor will complete. You see here, there's instructions. What we've just covered on the guideline document is exactly the same as in the instructions. Yes, section 8, the first question, as you can see there, has been answered by the learner. Question 2, it's been answered. Question 3, there's the questions. The learner has answered these questions. Can you see here the learner has stated and given explanation for her seating arrangement that she used. There she states classroom arrangement. Again, she's answered all the questions. Section B, this is a practical. She has uploaded video clips. I'm not going to show that. That's unfortunately due to privacy of her video clips. As you can see here, you remember now you need to choose a course that you're going to facilitate. So she chose apply self-management through the concept of positive self-esteem, and she attached and she said what is the unit standard. Yes, she outlined the topic. Here she listed the names of her training participants. She named the training participants. She said she identified the needs. Here she identified the resources, as you can see. PowerPoint slides highlighted. The location would be via Microsoft Teams. Personnel would be the facilitator and the participants. There she said all the physical resources she would require. Yes, she just went on further, just stating that it needs to be comfortable and private environment. Quiet and safe space is essential for self-esteem course. The location should be free from distractions, allowing participants to feel at ease and share openly without fear of judgment, because the course is online. Prepare a PowerPoint presentation. She's done that.